descriptive research design, clinical or diagnostic research design, experimental research design. Sampling techniques, probability sampling when data are normally distributed, then non-probability sampling, sample is less and data are not normally distributed. Sampling size, total number of the respondents, tools to be used. There are different tools or techniques that are used in the used by the researcher. Procedure for data collection, how do the researcher or what are the methods the researcher should adopt to collect the data. That's the process. Now tools to be used. Basically, in management, social science, we use four scales. That is nominal scale, which is indicated as a yes, no, true, false, like that. Ordinal scales, that is Likert, and that is 1 to 5-point scale. It might be strongly agree, then neither agree or disagree, strongly disagree. Even it can be also extended 1 to 10 as per the convenience of the researcher. Interval ratio, that means there is a equal interval, just like the 40 to 45, 46 to 50, 51 to 55, 56 to 60. Ratio scale, it is very rarely used in management or social sciences, just like it is basically used in physics and chemistry, just 2 by 4, 6 by 9 to know the ratio. Then procedure, sampling technique to be used. Then research design, meaning a research design is a systematic plan to study a problem, a major issue regarding what, where, when, who is, how, why. Research design summarizes the procedures for conducting a study, including when and under what condition the data will be obtained. This is to specify a plan for generating empirical evidence that will be used to answer the research questions. Research design always gives the answer of the following questions. What is the study about? Why is the study being made? Where will the study be carried out? What type of data is required? Where can the required data be found? What period of time will the study include? How many samples? How will the data be analyzed? Need for research design, smooth progress of the project, yield maximum information with minimal resources, a better and more reliable result. Validity helps in identifying inadequacies and flaws before commencing the study. Then good research design, yield maximum information, avoids collecting unnecessary data, maximizes reliability of results, provides firm foundation, helps organizing one's idea, gives chances to foresee flaws and inadequacies, incorporates by learning from other critical comments and evaluation. Researchers examine data critically, data valid and verifiable. Experimental design involves trial, preliminary investigation, observation. Result must be carefully observed and recorded, including comment. Systematic. The research is planned and done with purpose. In brief, a research design must contain a clear statement of the research problem, hypothesis, selection of the dependent and independent variables, procedure, tools, techniques to be used for gathering information, the population sample to be studied, methods to be used in processing and analyzing the data. Factor influencing research design: time, machine, testing, equipment, tools, methods for data collection and analysis, budget, grant if any, supervision, review, journal, textbooks, articles, narrow investigation, novelty, etc. Data for research. Data collection begins after the research problem defined and research problem carried out. There are two types of data: primary data, original data, which are taken for the first time; secondary data, those are already been collected by someone else and which have already been passed through the statistical process. The procedure for data collection is primary and secondary data are the procedure for data collection for primary and secondary data are different. Primary data. There are several methods for collection of primary data for surveys and descriptive research. There are several methods of collection primary data, particularly in surveys and descriptive research. Important ones are observation method, interview methods, through questionnaires, through schedules, other methods, which includes warranty cards, distributor audits, pantry audits, consumer panels using mechanical devices, through projective techniques, depth interviews, content analysis. These are the methods which are used basically for the data collection for different purposes. Then secondary data means data that are already available, that is, they refer to the data which have already been collected and analyzed by someone else. When the data utilizes secondary data, then he has or she has to look into various sources from where he can or she can obtain them. In this case, he or she suddenly not confronted with the problem that are usually associated with the collection of original data. Secondary data may either be published data or unpublished data. Usually published data are available in various publications of the central, state or local governments, private individuals and organizations. Various publications of foreign governments or of international bodies and their subsidiary organization, technical and trade journal, books, magazines and newspapers, reports and publications of various associations connected with business and industry, banks, stock exchanges, etc. Reports prepared by research scholars, universities, economists, etc. in different fields, and public records and statistics, historical documents, and other sources of published information. The sources of unpublished data are many. They may be found in diaries, letters, unpublished biographies, and autobiographies, and also may be available with scholars and research workers, trade associations, labor bureaus, and other public, private individuals and organizations. Now, data analysis. Data analysis, we'll have to see which types of data analysis we'll do, whether it will be parametric or non-parametric. Parametric test, when data are normally distributed and sample are more, and below figure shows normal distribution curve. From here we can see this is the mean, median, mode in the same line and it is in zero. This is 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma. In the right side it is plus 1 sigma, 2 sigma, 3 sigma, 3 sigma. And this plus and minus, it is covering 68.3%. From -2 to +2, it is covering 95.4%, and 3 to -3 to +3, it is showing 99.7%. When the data is becoming bell shape, then we can say the data is normally distributed and it should be in a plot. Now, what is the difference? Which types of statistical analysis we should do when data are normally distributed or not normally distributed? When data are not normally distributed and sample are very less. Just for example, the data when we plot it in a graph, a chart, it should not be bell shape. And another thing is that sample is very less, it might be 6 or it might be 10, not more than like that. And then what are the uses of parametric test and non-parametric test? Uses: test correlation versus independent Pearson coefficient of correlation. Here, equivalent non-parametric test, Spearman's coefficient of correlation ranks. Then test association versus independent, ThyssenKrupp's contingency coefficient, and now here is also the Candel's coefficient. This is all are equivalent. Compare two samples. This is the t-test. It may be treated as a student t-test, whereas in non-parametric it might be sign test, Manhuini U-test, Wilcoxon test, Fisher's test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Compare more than two samples, unifactorial design, one-way ANOVA of analysis, whereas in non-parametric it will be Kruskal-Wallis test. comparing more than 2 samples, bifactorial design, two-way analysis of variance in parametric, whereas in non-parametric it would be Freitzman test. Besides that, we can also do in the case of the non-parametric, that is median test we can do. And another things, last class I also told the chi-square is the only one test which is used in the parametric and non-parametric, but subject to condition that each and every cell there should be the value not less than 5. So chi-square test, it may be also used in the parametric test, or it may be also used in the non-parametric test. Now question is that when there is a significant difference based on the ANOVA, whether it is one-way ANOVA or two-way ANOVA, in the case of parametric test, then we do Duncan's multiple range test to see which group differs from which other groups. Okay. In the similar way, non-parametric test, when there is a significant difference based on the one-way ANOVA, that means Kruskal-Wallis test and Freitzman test, then we see also as like parametric test, rank order, Duncan's multiple range test. Okay, so to see which group differs from which group in greater level. So these are the slides. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you all very much. Now, if you have any question, you can ask.
Thank you, Professor Mihir Som sir, for your presentation. And
Yeah.
I think that